So before I begin, I would like to take the blessings of all the senior Vaishnavas. And I want to thank Matrapati Prabhuji for giving me this wonderful opportunity to discuss the Srimad Bhagavatam class early in the morning. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.2.28, a wonderful shloka. And again, the series of some nice shlokas are going on. We will go ahead with the shloka. Tato Vishesham Pratipaddi Nirbhaya. Tato Vishesham Pratipaddi Nirbhaya. Tenat Manapo Anal Murtir Atavaran. Tena Manapo Anal Murtir Atavaran. Jyotirmayo Vayumupetya Kale. Jyotirmayo Vayumupetya Kale. Vaya Atmanakam Brahad Atmalingam. Vaya Vatmanakam Brahad Atmalingam. Word by word meaning. Tatah, thereafter, Vishesham, particularly, Pratipadya, by obtaining, Nirbhadya, without any doubt, Tena, by that, Atmana, pure self, Apah, water, Anala, fire, Murti, forms, Atvaran, by surpassing, Jyoti Maya, effulgent, Vayum, atmosphere, Upetya, having reached there, Kale, in due course of time, Vayur, air, Atmana, by the self, Ham, ethereal, Brahat, great, Atmalingam, the real form of the self. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. After reaching Satyaloka, the devotee is specifically able to be incorporated fearlessly by the subtle body in an identity similar to that of the gross body. And one after another, he gradually attains stages of existence from earthly to watery, fiery, glowing, and airy until he reaches the ethereal stage. Purport. Anyone who can reach Brahmaloka or Satyaloka by the dint of spiritual perfection and practice is qualified to attain the three different types of perfection. One who has attained a specific planet by dint of pious activities attains places in terms of his comparative pious activities. One who has attained the place by dint of Virat or Hiranyagarbha worship is liberated along with the liberation of Brahma. But one who attains the place by dint of devotional service is specifically mentioned here in relation to how he can penetrate into the different coverings of the universe and thus ultimately discloses his spiritual identity in the absolute atmosphere of supreme existence. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, all the universes are clustered together up and down, and each and every one of them is separately sevenfold covered. The watery portion is, I'll just repeat this one more time. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, all the universes are clustered together up and down, and each and every one of them is separately sevenfolded covered. The watery portion is beyond the sevenfold covering, and each covering is 10 times more expensive than the previous covering. The personality of Godhead who creates all such universes by his breathing period lies above the cluster of the universe. The water of the casual ocean is differently situated than the covering water of the universe. The water that serves as the covering of the universe is material, whereas the water of the casual ocean is spiritual. As such, the watery covering mentioned here is considered to be the false egoistic covering of all living entities, and the gradual process of liberation from the material covering one after another, as mentioned herein, is the gradual process of being liberated from false egoistic conception of material gross body. I'll just repeat this one more time. As such, the watery covering mentioned herein is considered to be the false egoistic covering of all living entity, and the gradual process of liberation from the material covering one after another, as mentioned herein, is the gradual process of being liberated from false egoistic conception of the material gross body, and then being absorbed in the identification of the subtle body till the attainment of pure spiritual body is the absolute realm of kingdom of God. Srila Sridhar Swami confirms that a part of the material nature after being initiated by the Lord is known as the Mahatattva. A fractional portion of Mahatattva is called the false ego. A portion of the ego is the vibration of the sound. and a portion of the sound is atmospheric air. A portion of the airy atmosphere is turned into forms, and the forms constitute the power of electricity or heat. Heat produces the smell of the aroma of the earth, and the gross earth is produced by such aroma. And all these combined together constitute the cosmic phenomena. The extent of the cosmic phenomena is calculated by the diametrically both ways 4 billion miles. Then the covering of the universe begin. The first stratum of the covering is calculated to extend 8 million miles, and the subsequent covering of the universe are respectively of fire, effulgence, air, and ether, one after another, such each extending 10 times further than the previous. The fearless devotee of the Lord penetrates each one of them and ultimately reaches the absolute atmosphere where everything is one, where everything is of one and the same spiritual identity. Then the devotee enters one of the Vaikuntha planet where he assumes exactly the same form as the Lord and engages in the loving transcendental service of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of devotional service. Beyond this, there is nothing to be desired or achieved by the perfect yogi. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakhya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Nangayate Grim Yatra Pahatamam Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramanandamatam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So wonderful shloka and quite a detailed shloka, because here in the shloka we are able to see that there are so many details which are mentioned here. Correct. So normally in the normal way, if if somebody says, I don't know whether the God exists or not, I don't know whether all these things are true or not. Some people say, I don't know whether there is any use of giving up all these material pleasure which is available to us. Let us just enjoy. You don't know. We sometimes people argue like that. Correct. And we all would have seen such kind of people when we step out. And there are so many people, because it is very easy to just say that I don't know whether something is there or not. So let's do whatever we want. Let us enjoy, right? So there is nobody stopping us in from enjoyment when we talk about devotional service. Are we stopping anybody from doing any enjoyment? We are only stopping people to not do things which are against the dharma, right? Because it is painful for another living entity when we do things which are adharma. You talk about any regulatory principles, anything you talk about, it causes pain to other jivas, and that is why those are adharma. And when we cause pain to others, then it becomes difficult for us to advance in Krishna consciousness or become happy. For a normal person also, somebody who is inflicting pain to other living entities, they can never be happy. They can be temporarily happy, they can be very rich, right? Not as a Lakshmi. They won't be having Lakshmi, but they will be having Durga, and the same Durga Devi is going to destroy their entire family. So this is what happens, whether people are rich, whether people are powerful. If you're causing pain to other living entities, there is no hope. Absolutely. And that is why that is why the devotees always warn people who are not following Krishna consciousness, because it is not stopping the enjoyment, but it is to save them from falling into hellish condition, right? So there are so many details mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially if you see in the second canto. right from the shloka number 1, we are seeing the importance is given that don't waste your time doing unnecessary thing, because it will be shrama eva hi kemalam, right? But still people engage into all these things because they have this doubt in their mind, right? They have this doubt whether these things will be good or not, or what will happen to me. I think all these things are important. Material pleasures are also very good. It is required. All these things are the doubts, and these doubts are because of the identity crisis, right? We fight with each other. Why? Because I feel I am better than the other person, right? And there are fights between people. There are fights between family members. There are fights between country people. One state is fighting with another state over different issues. There are fights between countries. Nowadays we see that US is shooting missiles, US and Israel, or Iran, and Iran is also counteracting and shooting back missiles to different countries in Middle East. So there are crises because people do not know their real identity, right? There is a United Nation available, but United Nation, I don't know how much of use it is, because there are fights going on, there are wars going on, but we don't see United Nation being able to do anything or stop any wars. But when we talk about uniting the world, we see this Iskcon temple, and we see a lot of devotees in all these dhams, where whether they are any part of the country, they join together and they are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead happily, right? Somebody who is a Russian, Japanese, German, from US or Italy, whatever it is, they are coming together and they're worshipping. So that is actually uniting people, and that is possible because they are able to identify their real identity, right? Because people have identity crisis, they keep fighting, they keep having these ego clashes. The main important thing is that we have got this human body which is very, very rare, and making use of this human body, we can get back to Krishna. And here such great explanation is given, 7 coverings and 14 planetary systems, numerous planets which are available, and a living entity has to pass through, such big distances are mentioned, right? It is mentioned 4 billion times is the diameter of the earth. And then they are talking about various covering. Each covering size is they have given, and then each covering is 10 times bigger than the other covering, right? Just imagine what hope a normal person can have when they when they want to cross this all materially, with their power, with their energy. It is impossible, right? We see the example of Brahma. So when he saw himself sitting in a flower and looking right, left, up, down, with his 4 heads in all the directions, with such power, intelligence, he was not able to understand from where he has come. So he thought, okay, it's quite easy, right? I am seated on this lotus flower. So let me just get back to this origin of it. So he started going down, started swimming in the Garbhoda question. He's swimming so down, and he swam for 100 years, not our 100 years, 100 years of the demigods. And demigods, one day is 6 months for us, right? So such a long journey he did, but still he could not understand. And then in the end, he said, "Oh, my Lord, I understood." Then Lord also thought, "How is that you understood?" Because I have not revealed myself to you. So Brahma said, "I understood that it is impossible to understand you with the material endeavor." Right? When Brahma could not understand, then what is the hope of the people who want to go to different planets, right? Right? They shoot arrows and they shoot rockets, and they say, "I'm going to this planet. I'm sending this particular uh, you know uh, what do you call it, satellite or something." And they are just within the earthly planet, right? They All we know is Mars, Jupiter, Pluto is confused sometimes as a planet or as a satellite, right? All those who are teachers, they can relate. Sometimes we call Pluto as a planet, sometimes we say, no, no, Pluto is a satellite. So poor Pluto is also confused. So our knowledge is only this much. So Prabhupada is saying, yes, you want to go to the different planet, it is possible. And that is possible by having that suitable body, right? So Gaurang Das Prabhu was explaining this, that there's a book called Easy Journey to Other Planets, and that book came into picture when when America was sending satellites and rockets to different planets. So Prabhupada said, if you want to go to the different planet, read this book. And that book is called Easy Journey to Other Planets. I think you all would have read this small book. And that is possible by changing the body. We cannot go in the same body, right? In the same body, we cannot go to the different planets. So if you want to go to the different planets, it is possible by changing the bodies. So there are three kinds of transcendentalists which are mentioned in this shloka. The first one, the first one, I'm not talking about the best one, I'm saying the first one. So the first one can go to other planets apart from Earth because they're already on the Earth by taking a suitable body. For example, there is example of fish. Fish can remain in the water, but if you bring the fish out of the water, the fish is very uncomfortable, right? Because fish has got a specific body, they are able to survive in the water. If we go inside the water, we have to go with that cylinder, right? I think some of you would have done the scuba diving. So when you do the scuba diving, you have to go inside, but you have to carry a cylinder because we cannot breathe inside the body, inside the sea, inside the water. So we have got a suitable body to remain on Earth outside the water. And in the same way, fish has got a suitable body to be inside the water. They have a two different kind of bodies to remain in two different kind of situation. Similarly, we see that there is something called opium, which is very, very poisonous. So there are some worms which stay in that also, right? They have that suitable body that they can remain in that poison also, right? They don't die because they have a suitable body. So we can take another example that if you have to go to the different country, so say if you go to US, you have a cold weather sometimes most of the times there, right? UK and US. So we have to carry a lot of clothing. The clothing which we have here, it doesn't work out, right? So we have to arrange ourselves so many clothes and everything so that we are able to survive in that situation. So if we have to go to different planet, then by we want to desire, then we need to change this body. It is not possible in the same body, right? So there are second kind of transcendentalists which are mentioned that they meditate on the Virat Rupa. So this Virat Rupa is the imaginary Virat Rupa. Here it is being mentioned. It is not the Virat Rupa which we saw. Arjuna seeing Arjuna witnessing the Supreme Lord. Lord Krishna showed that Virat Rupa to Arjuna because Arjuna wanted to know that how is it possible, Krishna, that you are present everywhere, right? You are Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. But that part Arjuna was not able to understand, and Arjuna was asking on our behalf. So Krishna showed him that Virat Rupa. So what happened in the Virat Rupa? He was showing that people are taking birth from him, people are dying, everything is Krishna, everything. And Arjuna got bewildered. He got scared. He said, my dear Lord Krishna, please come back to your original form, two-handed forms, I like you like that, not like, Virat Rupa kind of thing. I'm getting scared. So that is why Krishna shows that Virat Rupa. But that Virat Rupa, which here people are meditating, impersonalism, they are not meditating on that Virat Rupa. They are meditating like, the lower planets are called the legs of the Supreme Lord. Ocean and rivers are called arteries and veins of the Supreme Lord. Trees are called the hairs of the Supreme Lord. Like that kind of meditation also people are doing, right? And the third one are the yogis with the devotional service, right? So I will also talk about pure devotional service in the end of the this class, maybe probably after 5 to 6 minutes. So those yogis are the ones who are, performing their yoga sadhana, whatever it is. But along with that, they are also clubbing the devotional service. And that is the power of devotional service, that they are able to cross these 7 layers, such very powerful, thick 7 layers. I have some pictures to show, probably that will be more helpful for all of us to, relate. Let me share my screen. If you see here, this first picture here, it is showing that Mahavishnu lying in the casual ocean. So this ocean the water of this ocean is it's a spiritual water, right? So when we have to understand this creation, we need to understand 75% is the spiritual and 25% only is the material, right? We must be thinking so many things we are talking, right? But it is only 25%. But the beauty is 75% is the spiritual, and we need to be present in that 75 and not stuck in this 25, right? Like there is a jail. So jail is for the people who are criminals, who are doing all nonsense or who are doing something against the law. So they are put in the jail. But if they are in the jail, somebody who is born in the jail, they will be thinking, okay, this jail is everything. But when they come out of the jail, then they realize, oh, there is a very big world and where we can go free, where if we follow the rules, then we can survive happily outside the jail also, right? So here 75% is the spiritual and 25% is the material. And if you see here, Lord Vishnu. So before coming to Krishna consciousness, I used to think Vishnu is one, Brahma is one, and Shiva is one. But here we understand, there are three Vishnus, Mahavishnu or Karnodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu or Shirodakshay Vishnu. So here you see Mahavishnu is lying in the casual ocean in the spiritual sky and he is breathing out planets, right? And his breathing, so the planets, so many planets. So the example comes like you take 50 kg of mustard and you see so many mustard inside that 50 kg bag, right? It is so many planets which are emanating when Mahavishnu is breathing out, right? And when he is breathing in, all these planets are vanishing. And in each of these planets, you see here, there is a Brahma situated. And that is how the creation is happening. There are so many Brahmas, right? So this tells us our how much limited we are and how much vast is the supreme personality. But when we are going in front of Krishna, we are taking it so easily. Oh my Lord, you're looking so beautiful. Oh Lord, give me this. Oh Lord, I think I'm doing my bhakti very nicely, you should be pleased with me. But you see whom we are talking to. you know he is such gigantic, such magnanimous. And every planet has got a Brahma, and then when he's breathing out, so Brahma has got a very big age. We all know that. We would have calculated some 311 trillion years of age Brahma has got, and our age is not even a second of Brahma's age. So that Brahma's age also is very, very short. When Mahavishnu is breathing in, all these planets are gone. So just imagine the breathing of Mahavishnu can be such long. He's breathing, one breath is taking for 311 trillions of years. Just imagine. And how much can we hold our breath, right? If we do proper pranayama and everything, also, I think not more than 2 minutes. I think some yoga devotees are also here. So if you breathe and you hold your breath, how long can you hold? I've heard that if you're able to hold your breath for uh, you know breathing for 1 minute, then it is considered that you are healthy. Probably devotees can try after the class. Try holding your breath for 1 minute and see if you are able to. Then you are healthy. But if you are not able to, then there are health concerns. But here Mahavishnu is breathing for 311, one breathing, 311 trillion years. Just imagine how gigantic is Mahavishnu. Now you see here, each planet is explained here as Brahmanda, and there are 14 planetary systems, right? We are sitting in the Earth planet, and somebody who has to surpass through, these planets, they will have to cross through all these Bhuvar Loka, Swar Loka, Mahar Loka, Jan Loka, Tapa Loka, Satya Loka. And then after this, we shouldn't think, okay, now I have crossed Satya Loka. Now this is the opportunity for me to meet Supreme Personality. No, no, no. That's not the thing. Let me show you another picture. And can you see this picture? You see here, this is the Brahmanda. And this picture is again an imaginary diagram. It is much bigger than, the coverings are much bigger than this. If you see, there is first covering which talks about the covering of Earth, right? And that Prabhupada is given, I think, some millions and millions of miles, something it is given. Now, from Earth, next comes water. So, water is 10 times bigger than Earth. So, if you see, this is Earth. So, 10 times must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere here, this portion. And then comes fire, and fire is 10 times bigger than the covering of water, right? And then comes Vayu, which is again 10 times bigger than the covering of fire. And then comes ether or Akash, which is 10 times bigger than the covering of fire. And then comes Ahankara, which is the biggest layer to cross through, right? So this way we have these big 7 layers to cross through. Only then there is an opportunity that, somebody who can, cross over the material world and get back to the spiritual world, right? Now you must be overwhelmed thinking that how it is possible, right? For us to cross such big layers, such big coverings. I don't know it is possible or not. So the good news is that for devotees, it is very easy. Very easy because we are practically in the service of the Lord. We are practically serving the Lord. And if we are served with the mind, our words and our action, right? So it becomes very, very easy for us to cross over this. We don't have to think that I don't know which plane I'm going to take, which is going to cross this, that. Nobody is going to be with me also. I don't know if that is possible or not. No, it is possible. So how it is possible? Prabhupada gives very nice example. He says that example, I think you all would have read that iron rod, when it is brought near to the fire, right? So initially the iron rod is going to be warm, and then if you retain that iron rod in the wire in the fire, that iron rod is also going to turn into fire. The iron will start melting and everything will be fiery, and with that, if you touch anything, it is fire. So how it is happening? Because iron rod is constantly associating with the fire, so it is getting the quality of fire, right? So that is why this system which Prabhupada has given to us: get up early in the morning, chant your 16 rounds with full focus and attention in the Brahma Muhurta, right? And then do the devotion service. You offer bhoga to the Lord, you cook for the Lord. It is very practical, it is not that superficial. Initially, it can be mechanical, from the day one, it doesn't come. But if you keep practicing this, that mechanical turns into the real bhava for the Supreme Lord. So, so this is what happens. One second. Okay, so this is what happens. The iron rod takes the quality of the fire, and then it becomes as good as fire. And I was listening to a lecture of Gaurang Das Prabhu. He was mentioning, depending upon what kind of impressions which are there, we have in our spiritual body, we are going to get the next body, right? But if we are performing the devotional service throughout our life, then our subtle body is going to be completely spiritualized, and then we are not going to get any such kind of impression, and uh, those impressions only take us into the next body, right? So devotional service is very, very powerful, and we have seen some examples of the devotees who have gone to the spiritual world in the same body, right? Dhruv Maharaj, he went in the same body. We were talking about the yatra, Pandharpur yatra. So we have Saint Tukaram, who went into the spiritual world in the same body. They don't have to give up their bodies because they followed the pure devotional service. So for the normal person, Prabhupada is saying that death is very, very fearful, right? Why fearful? Because death is going to snatch away everything: their property, their money, their house, their car, their relationships, their family members, their country love, their hidden money, whatever it is, death is going to take away. So it is very fearful. But for the devotee, it is like a kitten in the mouth of the mother cat. So they don't fear. Why? Because they are going to give up this material world, and they are going to get in return spiritual world, right? If I take away your small car and I give you a big nice car, then everybody will be happy. Oh Prabhu, I'm very happy because I'm getting a big nice car. And that too, I say I'm going to give you an automatic car, right? So that you don't have to worry driving the traffic in the Bangalore city. You'll be happy, right? Because you're getting something better. So that is why devotees are going to get something better, so they are very happy. But for the non-devotees, it is very, very difficult. So I had some more examples, but I think in the interest of time, we won't be able to go through. I just want to mention one last point. These 7 coverings are very, very big, but by the cooperation among the devotees, we see one example that these 7 layerings were also broken, and that became possible when Mother Ganga arrived on the material world in the planet Earth. And we know that when Vaman Dev came, he took 3 steps, and from his third step, it was such a big step, because Vaman Dev, it went and hit the coverings. These 7 coverings which you are talking about, such big coverings, these coverings were broken, and that is where the casual ocean water came down by washing the feet of the Lord Vishnu. So when the casual water enters, that is how Mother Ganga came into the material world, in the planet Earth. But Mother Ganga doesn't reach the earth. For that, the ancestors of Sagar, they had to follow a lot of tapasya, and then Bhagirath became successful. I think third or fourth generation, continuously doing tapasya. So first Vaman Dev brought Ganga river to the heavenly kingdom, and from heavenly it came back to the planet Earth by the tapasya of Bhagirath and his previous ancestors. So cooperation among the devotees, right? It did not become possible by one person. So they had to cooperate. So first Lord had to break the coverings, and then the devotees had to pray and then bring Mother Ganga. So that is very important. I think these are the things which bind us in the material world, lusty desires, enviousness behavior, and being angry with the devotees. It is very, very difficult. It takes away all our efforts. So we have to be very careful, never become upset or sad with any devotee. If you are not able to gel well, then we can maintain some distance, but pray for them. I think in the last JSSS meeting we heard that we must pray for devotees and sincerely, not keeping that anger. Oh, I don't like that person, I'll pray for him. No, no, no. Remember, there is a ahankara layer which is very big, and the gate of Vaikuntha is very small. So we need to be small, and we need to be, and that is intelligently, not like, okay, let me become small. It's okay. I still hate somebody in my heart. Let me become small. No, that is not possible. You're getting something big. So if I give you 10 crores and I say, Prabhuji, you have to be happy with everybody. You say, yes, Prabhu, give me 10 crores. I'll be doing Dandavat Pranam to everybody from today, right? So we have to think like that, and then we'll be happy in this material world also, because this world is becoming spiritual, and our body will become spiritualized when when we follow this Krishna consciousness properly, and it becomes very easy for a devotee. They don't have to worry about these big, big layers, big, big coverings, big, big philosophy. No, just follow Krishna consciousness purely, and Lord is waiting for us. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patita Pavan Guru Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. If I have committed any mistakes, you can correct me, and please forgive me. Hare Krishna.